102.1 FM. On record.
Every word matters.
Hello and welcome to On Record, where every word matters on High Impact 102.1 FM. I am Olumide Shokoya. On the program, we discuss actions and inactions of government, ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as business and health affairs that shape our worldview. The program also encapsulates personalities and institutions that make decisions that affect the lives of the people, one way or the other. And then, of course, we avail you, our listener, the opportunity of calling into the program and ask questions from our guest on the topic of the discussion. Once again, welcome to On Record, where every word matters. Constitutional law and civil rights are intricate and expansive areas of law that play a vital role in shaping the relationship between individuals and the state. Constitutional law encompasses the interpretation and application of a nation's founding document, which outlines the framework of the government, the separation of powers, and the limits of authority. The body of law ensures that the government does not overstep its bounds and infringe upon individual liberties. Constitutional law is a branch of law that deals with interpretation and implementation of a country's constitution. A constitution is a set of fundamental principles or established precedents according to which a state or other organization is governed. Constitutional law governs the relationship between the judiciary, the executive, and the legislature, and also the relationship between the individual and the state. It defines the powers and duties of the government and guarantees certain rights to people. Constitutional law often involves issues related to civil liberties, the division of powers between different branches of government, and the protection of individual rights. It is a crucial aspect and legal systems in many countries, shaping the structure and functioning of governments and societies. Civil rights are basic rights that every person should have in a society, regardless of the background, such as race, gender, religion, or nationality. These rights are usually protected by law and ensure that individuals are treated fairly and equally. Civil rights encompass a wide range of freedom, including the right to vote, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and the right to a fair trial. They are essential for promoting equality and preventing discrimination. Civil rights movements have historically fought to secure and protect the rights for all individuals, making sure that everyone has the same opportunities and protections under the law. In essence, constitutional law and civil rights form the bedrock of a healthy democracy, safeguarding individual liberties and ensuring that the government serves the people. The phone line 0700 1021 1021 will be open shortly. 0700 1021 1021 will be open shortly. And in the meantime, you can also send WhatsApp messages to 0907 224 5018. 0907 224 5018. We'll take a breather now, and when return to begin the conversation. Stay tuned.
Welcome to On Record.
Every word matters.
What I want to do is to take Nigeria from consumption to production.
My name is Mr. Innocent Chuboma. I started by trading on motorcycle strappers.
They really ask, how much is the Nigerian life worth?
Policing is everybody's business, not the business of the men on uniform alone.
We will establish student loan. 4 years course. Must be 4 years course.
When you dispense, a pharmacist dispenses a drug to a patient, the name of the drug must be written on the envelope.
On Record is a 45-minute program where we discuss the actions, inactions of government, ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as business and health affairs that shape our worldview.
Join us 9 a.m. every weekday on your urban lifestyle station, High Impact 102.1 FM. On Record.
Every word matters.
Put a touch of class and finesse on your brand by advertising with us at High Impact 1021 FM. For more information, call
0706 393 5694, 0915 958 1881, or 0902 745 3931.
Follow us on our social media platforms at High Impact 1021 FM. Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Welcome to On Record.
Every word matters.
What I want to do is to take Nigeria from consumption to production.
My name is Mr. Innocent Chuboma. I started by trading on motorcycle spare parts.
They really ask, how much is the Nigerian life worth?
Policing is everybody's business, not the business of the men on uniform alone.
We will establish student loan 4 years course. Must be 4 years course.
When you dispense, a pharmacist dispenses a drug to a patient, the name of the drug must be written on the envelope.
On Record is a 45 minutes program where we discuss the actions, inactions of government, ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as business and health affairs that shape our worldview.
Join us 9 a.m. every weekday on your urban lifestyle station, High Impact 102.1 FM. On Record.
Every word matters.
Welcome back to On Record, where every word matters. Olumide Shokoya here. We will be looking at a very interesting topic, but not to forget that we are also streaming live on YouTube and on X. That's at High Impact 102.1 FM. You can also join the conversation by calling 0700 1021 1021, 0700 1021 1021, or you can send WhatsApp messages to 0907 224 5018. 0907-224-5018. So today we will be talking about constitutional law and civil rights. And joining us virtually is Barrister Folusho Olakbo, a legal practitioner and public affairs analyst. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Yes, good morning this morning, Olumide and the entire Nigerians. Good morning today. How is Lagos?
Well, it's raining here. It's raining cats and dogs here. It's really raining.
It's not cat and dog really here, but it's everywhere. It's just drizzling and all sorts of things. But thank God for life.
Yes.
Let's continue to have hope against hope and pray to God that this land will be healed in Jesus' name. Good morning once again.
Yes, thank you very much. Now, we'll be looking at constitutional law and civil rights. We would also try and concentrate more on civil rights because it affects every Nigerian. I remember, I think it was yesterday in the papers, it said that someone was set free after 15 years of just being in prison without no trial, no charge. How did we get to this point? How is it even possible? 15 years being incarcerated without no trial and charge.
Yes, unfortunately, that is the position. I read that too, and it's very unfortunate, like I said, especially regarding the fact that the Constitution guarantees right to the dignity of the human person and right to freedom of liberty. So no one should be imprisoned without proper interrogation or proper adjudication by the court of law. Unfortunately, the wheels of justice in Nigeria seems to, it seems not really working. And if it works at all, it works in favor of the rich, the elites, and not the downtrodden ones. That is very unfortunate. And again, because when we talk about judiciary doing its work, it doesn't begin with the judiciary. It begins with the law enforcement agents. Not until such cases are brought to the notice of courts, then to that extent the court may not be able to do anything. Remember one thing, we used to say that the court is not an official interloper. It is what to take to eat or what to ask from it that will be adjudicated on. Unfortunately, the man's matter did not even reach the courts, not to talk of being adjudicated on. So it is just within the law enforcement agents. Maybe probably some people were just too smart, to ensure that his matter didn't come up, or that it was a Trump charge or whatever. So unfortunately, irrespective of the fact that the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, provided that the magistrates should be visiting the
correctional centers, police stations,
correctional services and other police stations to check their case file, so as to note that there are some offences, for instance, that may be punishable with 1 month or some all these little charges that the magistrate can just take over and free the people, and even some offences just maybe to that may be sentenced to manual labor. Maybe they should just go and do some cleaning at the market or somewhere else, or those places. But unfortunately, till now, it appears that part of the Criminal Justice Act 2015 has not been enforced. It's unfortunate. Maybe because of fund, I don't know why that is, but unfortunately, maybe if that aspect of the law has been, brought on and is working, maybe that man would have been released even before now.
All right, thank you very much. I want us to look at the Constitution and how it should be interpreted. But before we go even into that, I want to ask this question. I know, yes, 3 arms of government: the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. Now, the police and other security agencies, they fall under the executive arm of government. Now, I know the legislature and the judiciary, they are well aware of, or they are well conversant with the Constitution. But looking at the police, can we authoritatively say that they have a grasp of the Constitution, what the Constitution says, what the law says regarding arrest, prosecution, or do you think that they just act with ignorance sometimes when they make illegal arrests and detentions?
No, we nobody can say the judiciary and especially the legislature doesn't know the Constitution, especially because no law that will be passed at the National Assembly or state assemblies that the Constitution will not be looked into. Because if such law contradicts the Constitution, that law will be null and void to the extent of its inconsistency. So and they will not like to just waste their time on laws that will be void. So they have the Constitution with them at all times, even at the National Assembly. If you look at the front of the clerk of the House, you will see those laws of laws of Nigeria, and including the Constitution will be there. But then the judiciary interprets this law. It is what the judiciary says the law is, that the law is. So they know what is happening. They know the law. But now it is not even the fault of the legislature or the judiciary in this instance. It is the law of it's the fault of the executives, especially the security agencies. Security agencies in our crime can just, whip up sentiment and just, bring something up against a person that is not existing. Maybe they arrested a person, for instance, for failure to pay, to match grant, quote and unquote. And the person is proven too tough. So they can just, put some things in his front and say he's an armed robber, is this or that. You just trump charge like that and everything. And if the person doesn't have anybody that can, support or, fight for him, that person might be there for several years without even nobody knowing that he's still alive. So it is the fault. And again, that shows the how we recruit our security agencies, especially the police. So the police will be recruited and probably sent to police college for some weeks or probably 3 months, and that is all. You can't get the understanding of law within 3 months. something that some people went to to study for exactly 5 years or even 6 before they become grounded on it. So I know that they are not going to face every other law, but the criminal aspect of the laws. And we have a whole gamut of laws, that has to do with criminal actions. Not only the criminal code, we have even the police act itself. Some of that, the provisions of that act, providing or forbidding some things to be done. The Cybercrime Act and a whole lot of the Evidence Act and all these acts are very voluminous, and it's not something somebody can just grasp within 3 months. So apart from that, they have their own ethics too, which they have to learn even at the college. And again, look at the college itself. It's nothing to write home about. So somebody that is at the college, just go there. And majority of the people that are enrolled into the police today are not going there just to secure the people. Most of them are going there so that they can have a backup. They can have something that backs them up to be collecting toll gates or something at anywhere they are. So that is why many people go to join the police, so that they can be collecting 20 naira match and all that. So unless and until we go back to the basics, unless and until the police is what can I put now, is restructured, not only restructured, is reformed. Yes, that's what I want to use. It's reformed to the extent that they have to note that they are civil police. They are supposed to be guiding and securing the lives of the civil populace. What the police of Nigeria knows to do best is to protect the politicians. And the ordinary person in the street is common bloody civilians. So not until they did not see us as bloody civilians and as people they ought to give their life for, if the civilians' life is in jeopardy. So this is some of the things that they have to know. There should be a police reform. The process of recruitment must be to ensure that people that are going to the police are people that are fit and proper. Not just any riffraff or Dick and Harry that just want to get something his daily living, or be going to bus stop. What do they call it? The roadblocks, and begin to collect 1 naira and 200 naira every day. These are not the people we want. We want people that can lay down their lives for Nigerians. And if they will lay down their life for Nigerians, then their welfare too must be looked into. In other crimes, immediately you join the police, your life is insured. So in case anything happens to you, your family will have something to fall back on. Do we have the same thing here in Nigeria? So anybody that joins the police is on his own. They even have to buy their own uniforms and accessories. Where is such thing happening all over the world? So we have to look at reforming the police, not only because of the fact that they see themselves as the elite police or politicians' police. They should look at their welfare too, so that whatever job they are doing, they should do it with all their heart, all their mind, and everything to ensure that the life of Nigerians are secure.
All right, thank you very much for that. Still on policing, what type of reform would you propose for policing and criminal justice to address this whole problem? What type of reform do you? I know yes, the police, they have a police university whereby you enroll, and after 4 years you graduate with a degree, and also you graduate as an assistant superintendent of police. I know that is also there. But what type of other reforms do you propose for the police force that would really help them?
Okay, let me start from the police university, for instance. If you look at the police, the officers, the rank of maybe ASP, maybe the commission officer, if I can call them that, most of the time they do not have any problem. You know, they deal with you civilly.
Yes.
They deal with you as if you have dignity. But the ranks and file doesn't know that. It is the ranks and file that the reforms should start from. Anybody that is going into the police from, what do they call them, maybe constable or whatever, should be ensure from that moment, they should ensure right from that, the last corporal, as somebody used to call them, from the last person to the top, to the IGP, must ensure that their lives are insured. That is the first thing. Because they are open to risk every day. They are putting their lives at risk almost every day. If there's a robbery somewhere, armed robbery somewhere, it's the police that we are going to call. And these people that you are going to call are, risking their lives. So you have to ensure that at least their family will be put, their family's mind will be put at rest. That, okay, my husband is working. So from the very first day they enrolled, they must be insured. Then secondly, is their welfare. Insurance, that's part of their welfare. How much do the police take home every month? How much? So if the police is taking home something that cannot take them home, then to that extent, they have to look elsewhere, even to augment that salary. And that is the reason for corruption in the first place. So most of the things, of the policies of Nigerian government is aiding corruption. It's not even the police alone. See the civil servants, the civil service. When you go there, they will be looking at you, what you are going to give. If you are not able to give anything, your work will just be there. You will be say, Walola, come tomorrow, come tomorrow, come tomorrow. But if you go there, madam, welcome, good morning, this is where I come from, and you give him something, cook, you see that your work will just come out within a twinkle of an eye. Why? Because their take home does not take them home. And two, the fact that after they retire, what did they retire on? So their retirement benefits probably sometimes are not paid, and if they are paid, they are just stipends. Somebody told me that as a level, I think level 12 or level 13 retiree is earning about less than 20,000 naira as pension. So if somebody knows that when he retired, he's not going to get anything again, so you have to still, at least to be able to, continue the type of life he had when he was working, and to ensure that his generation will be able to meet something. And if you look at the salary structure, without even every other thing, a civil servant, a level 1 to 8, for instance, civil servant may not be able even to build a house, not to talk of sending children to school. So there are some things that are enabling corruption in this country, which we have to look into. Not the police alone, even throughout the whole gamut of civil service. So one, the welfare is very necessary. Welfare is very compulsory. Welfare is everything. And in fact, the reason for governance in the first place, especially Section 14 of the 1999 Constitution, is the welfare and the security of citizens. That is the essence of government. So any government that's unable to provide for welfare and the security of its people has failed woefully. So the police have to be reformed in a way that, at least apart from ensuring that anyone that is being enrolled into the police is fit and proper, is devoid of drugs and all these things, then secondly their welfare, then third is their uniform. It's part of the welfare anyway. Police and other security agencies should not be made to buy their uniforms themselves. If you look at some of them, you look at their boots and it's wow. And some of them even wear slippers and all this slip-on and everything, and while still wearing police uniform. You look at them sometimes and you think they are just some riffraffs. Unfortunately, it's very unfortunate to say that. But their welfare have to be looked into. You don't just blame them for what they are doing. You have to look at everything wholly before you can now say, okay, because we have done this, then and you are refusing to do the written, then that person could be dismissed. But when you are not doing the proper thing as government, and you are expecting them to perform, then how will they perform? So sometimes it is what is happening is not just the police, it's not just the fault of the police. Then it is everyone's fault, especially the policies of government that have to affect everybody.
All right, thank you very much. Now, let's move on. I'd like us to look at something, what we call national security, and how it affects civil liberties. Sometimes people are picked up and they say in the interest of national security. Sometimes people remain behind bars and they say, oh, in the interest of national security. So how do you think the Constitution or let me put it this way, what are your thoughts on the balance between national security and individual civil liberties?
The national security involves so many things, and nobody could be designated a national security threat except the court. So nobody can just say because of national security you are arrested and put to jail without going to court. It is the court that will decide whether the action of that person actually negates the national security. And that is where our politicians or government are getting it wrong. So you don't just put somebody in jail just because, no. The fundamental human rights of people is very sacrosanct. It is not. I don't know whether you've heard one of Fela's song, "Beast of No Nations." He said, "Human right now my property," and government won't dash us human rights. You already have your human right just because you are born a human being. It is inherent in us as image of God. So it is not something that government dashed. The Constitution just codified all those rights and make it sacrosanct. So it is not government that dashed us those rights. The dignity of the human person, the dignity, the sanctity of the life of a person, the freedom of liberty, that no one should be jailed without proper adjudication by the court. The freedom of movement, freedom of information, freedom of a whole lot of gamut of freedom, freedom of free conscience, freedom of religion. These are some of the things that are inherent in us as human beings. So nobody should just arrest somebody and put him in jail just because the threat is a threat to national security. No, it is the courts, the judiciary, that should decide whether that person is a national security risk or not. So it is after that the court will now give conditions within which that person may not be, may be put to jail or may not be free to walk around and be put into jail. So it is not just something that anybody can just wake up that because Mr. President wants to come to Lagos, just for example, Mr. President wants to come to Lagos and some people are protesting that they don't want him in Lagos. Then they say they are security risk. This security risk. In fact, as a fact, that protest is a right too.
Yes.
So it's a right. And that is why even the new police act did not say you have to get permission from the police before you protest. No. It said you should inform the police so that they can serve as security. They can, protect you while you are going through your protest. Only you have to make sure that the protest does not, endanger other people's lives. Because right itself is not absolute. Your right stops where your right to fling your hand stops where my nose starts. So if you fling your hand and you injure my nose, you have infracted my own rights too.
Yes.
So rights are not absolute. They have some things, conditions to it. So government should not just wake up one day and say somebody is a security risk and put him in jail till eternity, or till somebody will now know that this person has been there for 14 years, for 23 years. And what happens to that person? Will the person be compensated at the end of the day? Of course, I do not know any Nigerian law that says such people should be compensated, except that person is rich enough to go back to court to seek compensation as a civil case now, not as a criminal thing. As a civil, sue the government for doing this and ask for something. But you have to have the money to do that too, because even to go to court now is not a piece of cake. You have to have your money. So you see, some of the things government does sometimes it is against the right of the people, and unless the people know their right in the first place, such things will continue without any abatement.
All right, thank you very much. Please, let's quickly go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll continue with the discussion. Stay tuned.
Welcome to On Record.
Every word matters.
What I want to do is to take Nigeria from consumption to production.
My name is Mr. Innocent Chuboma. I started by trading on motorcycle spare parts.
They really ask, how much is the Nigerian life worth?
Policing is everybody's business, not the business of the men on uniform alone.
We will establish student loan 4 years course, but before years course.
When you a pharmacist dispenses a drug to a patient, the name of the drug must be written on the envelope.
On Record is a 45-minute program where we discuss the actions, inactions of government, ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as business and health affairs that shape our worldview.
Join us 9 a.m. every weekday on your urban lifestyle station, High Impact 102.1 FM. On Record.
Every word matters.
Put a touch of class and finesse on your brand by advertising with us at High Impact 1021 FM. For more information, call
0706 393 5694, 0915 958 1881, or 0902 745 3931.
Follow us on our social media platforms at High Impact 1021 FM. Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
It's about to go down.
It's about to go down.
It's about to go down.
It's about to go down. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?
You better be ready to say hello to the cool cash that's about to splash your way. High Cash Splash is gonna make it rain.
What do I do?
Simply dial the USSD code *347 *972 #. Select the amount of tickets you want to purchase, select your bank, and then you'll get an SMS with 2 payment options. Make payment and you stand a chance to win with just 500 Naira, or visit highcashsplash.com for more details.
Yeah.
It's popping up on selected shows on High Impact Radio 1021. So remember, the more you play, the higher your chances of winning cool cash on the High Cash Splash raffle draw.
High Cash Splash is powered by Lasho Trading Services Limited and licensed by Lagos State Lotteries and Gaming Authority. Not suited for anyone under 18. Play responsibly.
Welcome to On Record.
Every word matters.
What I want to do is to take Nigeria from consumption to production.
My name is Mr. Innocent Chuboma. I started by trading on motorcycle spare parts.
They really ask, how much is the Nigerian life worth?
Policing is everybody's business, not the business of the men on uniform alone.
We will establish student loan 4 years course, but before years course.
When you a pharmacist dispenses a drug to a patient, the name of the drug must be written on the envelope.
On Record is a 45-minute program where we discuss the actions, inactions of government, ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as business and health affairs that shape our worldview.
Join us 9 a.m. every weekday on your urban lifestyle station, High Impact 102.1 FM. On Record.
Every word matters.
Welcome back to On Record, where every word matters on High Impact 102.1 FM. Don't forget the phone lines are open 0700 1021 1021 0700 1021 1021. You can also send WhatsApp messages to 0907 224 5018. We're still looking at constitutional law and civil rights with Barrister Folusho Olakmo. Now, I would like us to look at another issue here. It has to do with hate speech. Now, the Constitution provides freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom of gathering. So, at what point does hate speech, or at what point can something, a statement or something, be tagged as hate speech?
All right. Within one thing that I said earlier is that human rights itself, even though sacrosanct, is not absolute. And I told you, I remember that I said that the right for you to fling your hand, whether you like it or not, stops where my nose begins. So if I'm on my own and you are flinging your hand just because you have the freedom to do that, then and you touch me and I start bleeding, then you'll be responsible. That is it. So of course we have the right to freedom of speech, but that right is not absolute too. Your right to freedom of speech stops where my integrity begins. Let me put that in perspective. Because you know that you have the freedom of speech, and you begin to defame me, you begin to say or print unprintable things about me, or you begin to distribute unprintable things about me, lying against me, then to that extent, you are defaming my character. You are injuring my person. You are infracting my fundamental right to the dignity of my human person. So you can see how it works now. Now, when we talk about hate speech, we are talking about a situation where somebody is causing, I don't know how to put it now. That word, bad belly against somebody, making other person to hate the other person. For instance, let's say you see most of the time, some people will just send something on social media that the houses, so they are meeting. Okay, let me give this example that I saw during the past administration. Somebody sent into my mail that the Northerners have locked the vice president in, and they are meeting how to ensure that Nigeria becomes an Islamic state. I look at that and you begin to wonder how can somebody in his right senses just cook these things together and begin to distribute. Some people will say, wow, all the tomatoes in this world, the houses has bought it, everything. They don't want it to come to the south. All that stuff. Something that will generate hatred. For you to hate the other person or to hate a minority or another tribe, then those are hate speeches, and which is contrary to the fundamental human right to freedom of speech. You see, when we talk of hate speech now, it is those things that somebody will say that will make you to hate the other person. And it's saying them not because those things are correct, but just because it just felt, maybe because I'm a Yoruba person, I begin to say things about the Igbos that may persuade every other right-thinking person to begin to hate the Igbos. If I do that, that is hate speech, and I will be responsible for my actions, because under criminal law, a man is presumed to intend the consequences of his action. So that presumption that I intend that people should hate, for instance, the Igbos that I give as an example, is there. And to that extent, I have to face that consequence. So it is, of course, we have fundamental rights. But again, because of your right. All
right, Barrister Folusha Olakbo, please hold that thought. We have a call now. Hello, what's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, we lost that caller there. All right, please go ahead.
Okay, because from my example, because what I'm saying about the other person is not true, it's not real. I did not even, have a rethink before I begin to post it. Then to that extent, it's hate speech. And if it's a hate speech, it is not that the police will just arrest me and put me in jail. They do not have that right. So they have the only thing they can do is to arrest me and take me to court, so that the court can pronounce whether what I have done is hate speech or not. So So it is when the police now began to, assume judiciary or the courts by doing things that are contrary to your right. That is now when people began to shout. But if somebody, else or offend the law, all the police can do is to investigate and take that person to the court, and not just to, leave him, wallowing in their detention for days and years. No, that is against that person's rights too. And two wrongs doesn't make a right in law. Law is not algebra, where minus times minus is positive. No. In law, minus times minus is minus. Two wrongs doesn't make a right.
All right. Now, another interesting issue I would like us to treat before we go is how can we ensure that constitutional law and civil rights are accessible to all? I mean, regardless of socioeconomic status. I mean, I read somewhere recently that, if you ever get arrested for any crime, it is your right to not say anything or write a statement, especially without your lawyer being present. Now, a lot of people, I dare say more than 50%, are not aware of this. Once they are picked up and they're at the police station and they're given a paper to write a statement, they just go ahead. But a lot of people are not aware of this. So how can we ensure that, constitutional law and civil rights is available to all? People are aware of it.
That has to do with advocacy and enlightenment. In fact, during the military, there are more enlightenment on going on in Nigeria than this civilian something. If you could remember Mamsa,
yes.
If you are a leader, you lead you. If you are a director, you direct, and all that stuff. Then, if you remember this song, then me, I love my country, I love the land and people. All these are enlightenment things that make Nigeria to want to love Nigeria. You remember Andrew No Checkout, and a whole lot of things that bring out enlightenment, even to the ordinary people in their houses. But the National Orientation Agency today is just I don't know, they are just a shadow of themselves. For instance, the essence of national orientation is to bring about enlightenment of government policies and things that are, positive, that things that will benefit Nigerians, even to their doorsteps. For instance, like what you said, many people do not know that they don't have room to say anything to the police. Even the police have to, before you are arrested, they have to tell you the reason for which you are arrested. And even look at our Nollywood place. You ask the police, what have I done? Said, not until we get to the station. What's the meaning of that? You tell him right there that you have been arrested for social purposes, but because they don't want to explain, they might not want to explain it there, but the reason for that arrest will be told. You will be told. And somebody will just be walking on his way. They will say, hey, come here. They will take your bag and begin to look inside. What happens to right to privacy and correspondence? Somebody will take your phone and begin to go through them, weeding looking at every detail on your phone. What's the meaning of that? These are things that National Orientation Movement messages and the National Orientation Agency are supposed to be telling the people so that they know. And that when you are arrested, you do not have to pay for your bail. It is free. Even if you get to the police station, they put it there that bail is free. But unfortunately, that bail is not free in Nigeria, and the assertion that police is your friend doesn't apply to Nigeria. Even me as a lawyer, I fear police. So
really?
Not to talk of any. Yeah, of course I do. Fear. I use that word fear. I know what I'm saying. Because you may be telling them something, and the next thing they are changing, and you begin to wonder. Why is this? The only thing is that I know the law. I have the law behind me. And if any of them misbehave, I can sue that police itself. I'll petition him. So you see, because of that, maybe they have this fear for lawyers a little. Not that the way they behave, a person of dignity and respect will not want to, have to deal with them in anything. In fact, most of the time, I don't even do police things. I said, go to the place, when you settle there, we can go to court. Because I don't, they say some things that you do not want to just hear. So when they say bail is free and they are, insisting on you as a lawyer that your client have to pay something for his bail. So what are you doing? Are you not aiding and abetting illegality? So you see, sometimes some of the things that we ought to know by way of enlightenment, by way of advocacy, it's not being done. And unfortunately, the civil societies that are doing it are not many, and they don't even have the funds anymore. So, for instance, I'm sorry to say this, but I have to say it. I do a radio program on the legal aspect of marriage every week. Do you know I have done it for almost 1 year, above 1 year now. I have not seen one person to sponsor me or to give me the money. Now, if I have done several things and I'm unable to raise help, what do you think I will do? I will just slay the program. Of course, people are calling. Ordinary people, we like it. Thank you, sir. We never know this is this and this is that. And family things, marriage things, it's one of the things that is happening even in this country today. That those majority of the people that are listening are just peasants. They don't have the money. People that have the money, they are not interested in the people. So you see, advocacy is very expensive. But that is why government set up National Orientation Agency, for them to be able to tell us that. But unfortunately, they are sleeping because government is not funding them. Rather, they give Ministry of Information all the money. We know when Mr. Lai Mohammed was the information minister and whatever minister, he made sure whatever he want to say, even that the ministry, the orientation agency, whatever may have done, he does that himself at the Ministry of Information. Some of the things that are not supposed to be done at the Ministry of Information, and even in this government, I have not even seen anything the National Orientation Movement is doing, except to launder the image of government. That is not what that agency is meant for. It's meant to, enlighten Nigeria about their rights, about the policies of government, not to launder them. So, for instance, I talked about Andrew No Checkout during the Japa time, during Babangida regime, when people are leaving Nigeria in droves, as it is done now. There's this caption, Andrew acted, and people, a whole lot of things. That man became Andrew. That was not his name. I think the man is late now, unfortunately. So Andrew, no check out. If you see somebody that wants to japa, Andrew, you want to japa. So me, I love my country. I love the land and people. Everything is there for Nigeria. That is to tell us that we have to love this country. That whatever we want to go and get in abroad, we have them here. And these are some of the things that National Orientation Agency does then, that make everybody to begin to want to sit back, irrespective of the SAP, Structural Adjustment Program, that is happening there. There is enlightenment. People know. People, in fact, we love it. When those songs come out, it stays into your head.
All right, Barrister Folusha, I'm sorry I have to cut you short, but we have exhausted our time. But thank you very much we have really, really enjoyed our time together. Thank you very much for the discussion.
Thank you for having me, Olumide. God bless you.
Amen. You're welcome. We have been discussing constitutional law and civil rights with Barrister Folusha Olakpo, a legal practitioner and, of course, a public affairs analyst. It's been amazing, but this is where we will draw the curtains today on Record, where every word matters. Keep listening to High Impact 182.1 FM. I am Olumide Shokoyat. Good morning.
Welcome to On Record.
Every word matters.
What I want to do is to take Nigeria from consumption